I'm Yolanda Marie. So I just wanted to hop on here really quick and talk about manifestation. The Arcturians had a lot of information to give me about how we are moving forward into this new way of being, how we are going to a different way, a slightly different way, a more fine-tuned way of looking at manifestation. Although pretty simple, actually. It's not very complicated, but it's just a different way of being. But there are some things that they wanted me to point out. And there's another video that I'm going to upload, if I haven't already, about releasing feelings of shame and regret, specifically because they are blocking our progress, also from the Arcturians. But before I did that, they were very adamant about me talking about this. So pardon me for having my iPhone here. So I'm just going to use this, okay? But here's what some things that they were saying, okay, to all of us, me included. All right, so they say, there is a stall happening in the collective with those of you that want to control your image. And by image, what they really mean, it's not the image like that of like a, they're gonna come through and answer this a little bit because I feel them. But what they're meaning by image is the complete mechanism, the whole picture, even to ourselves. It's not egoic in nature. It is, but not in the way that we think of image. Okay, it does have to do with the ego, but it's not to the extent what we think of when we think of the word image. All right, it is just about our complete mechanism. We're trying to have too much control over what this looks like, feels like, even to us. We need to let go. There's another channeling I did about this, losing the inhibition there. All right, and I think it's called What to Do with Desire. They say be uninhibited with your knowing when you're manifesting. Be uninhibited. All right, and we are still working on that. Okay, because we think that that implies selfishness, okay? This abandon, and we lose the control. We lose this control. All right, they say we can't graduate, pardon me, to the next level if we're doing this. All right, they say you try to play it small, but if you move in the direction of your preferences, playing it small moves you back in the other direction. It's the opposite of that, of moving. So in other words, not allowing ourselves to fully be and letting this stuff go completely. All right, which the next video on releasing shame and regret is going to talk about that too. Now, here is what they are talking about with how to manifest. It's not really necessarily a step-by-step process. They all work together. It's more like a cycle, which feeds itself. All of these things are. I'm learning this again and again. Everything is linked to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. It's more like a grid instead of a step-by-step, okay? But what you're doing is the action involved, rather, is moving in the direction of your preferences at all times. That's the biggest point they continue to make. And that sounds so simple to us. And we go, well, we are moving in the direction of our preferences. Well, not necessarily. Not if suddenly we feel some sort of misplaced guilt or shame or regret, and we pause and we move backwards into what we think we deserve more rather than what we actually desire. That is when we're not moving in the direction of our preferences. So that's where the clearing comes in. But we need to be moving moment to moment at all times. This is where we're coming into. This will be like clockwork, and it will be just an automatic mechanism before long. But right now, we need to be super conscious of this. Move in the direction of your preferences. Again, everything is through the heart space, always. So this is not from an egoic standpoint. This is not from a self-centered standpoint. This is from a love, unconditional love, community standpoint. So in other words, what we wish for ourselves, we automatically wish for our other, for our community, for the collective, for Gaia, okay? And we can keep extending that again and again. For the galactics, for the universe, for the multiverse, everything, okay? It's all interactive. So this is taking it out of that selfish space, right? Where the 3D density has sort of kept things, not sort of, has kept things. All right? And that's fine. We've had that experience. We're not going to spend time judging that because we are going to move in the direction. We're going to be aware of that and know it and understand it while moving in the direction. We're able to process these things at the same time. That's why we don't have to practice avoidance anymore. We can process what happened and still move toward. Okay? All right. So they're saying that with this knowing that's coming, all right, with this knowing that's coming, and pardon me, I don't have readers on while I try to read this iPhone. This is the conquering of our thought processes and individual values and needs. This is the evolution of the mind happening. But there again, this is not evolution of the mind, the processor. This is the evolution of the heart mind. This is all a processor now. We are aware of this. Our awareness sets it in motion. That's how powerful we are. And so we're aware of this. We're initiating this. There is nothing to do but set the intention and follow through. And remember as much as we can, right? Stay in your awareness. Here is the other point that they brought up that they wanted me to just say in this shorter video, okay? Whoever, whatever, however you imagine your higher self to be is what you're moving toward. Get a picture of this. I'm not talking about physically, okay? Although that can be part of it. Certainly, that can certainly be part of it. But the whole way of being, the whole way that you wish to, the surroundings that you wish to have around you, the way that you wish to live, and in turn, the way that you hope that others are able to live, right? That's going to go hand in hand now, all right? So whatever you imagine this to be, move toward this. I just want to quote them to make sure I don't miss anything. Move toward this. So I just wanted to get on here and make these points and make sure that I introduce this topic of moving in the direction of your preferences at all times before I continue any further into any of the other subjects that they want me to talk about, okay? They were super, super duper adamant about this. So I hope this makes sense. And what I'll do is try to break down this longer, it's kind of a very long session of channeling and getting questions answered. And so I'm going to figure out what's the best way to either break that up or play it out for you so that you can have access to that too, okay? Thank you so much for, as always, being here. Thank you for being on your journey. I know I say that all the time, but I understand this journey. And I know you do too, and I have to say it again and again. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for getting up and just doing this. I love you. Namaste.